Hey guys, welcome back to the continuing project of applying POR 15 protective coatings to the underside of the Toro HD 1500 mower deck. In this video you will see I'm applying 3 coats of the POR 15, and this is the first of the 3. It applies extremely easy, just like basically any other paint. It does recommend going 3, well, it says up 2 coats. You can do 1 coat if you want, but I believe the max is 5, and that's for marine purposes, so you could do 5 if you wanted. I decided on 3, and they do recommend thin coats. It's super easy to put on, even on the vertical surface that you see I'm doing here. It doesn't really run. You can watch in the video here. I'll try to zoom in maybe a little bit to get you closer. It's like paint, so it's super easy to do. One thing I don't recommend doing is, so you can see I have the POR 15 in a solo cup here. After I was done with the first coat, I put the cup down on the floor, and when I came back to do my second coat 2.5 hours later, it had eaten through the bottom of the solo cup, and the POR 15 was all over the floor. So if you stick around long enough, you'll see on the second coat that it is in a glass jar. So that's my only recommendation and only tricky thing. And again, they do recommend light coats, so don't put it on too heavy. Heavy is not necessarily better, but it's super easy to put on the smooth surface. A foam brush works fantastic. If you had a rougher surface that's going to cut the foam brush or something, I would definitely do a bristle brush, but for this application here, smooth metal, foam brush worked great. I will, once we get to the second coat, I'll give a little more commentary at that point, and the rest of this I will speed up so that we can get through it faster. Okay everyone, here is the start of the second coat. As you can see, it has dulled to basically it has dried to a dull finish. You can see that it's a very matte black. Some areas are still glossy, especially where it was over the red paint before. I do want to point out that you can see I have a glass jar now to hold the POR 15, because this was after my disastrous solo cup incident. Same process though. It's pretty easy for the second coat because you can tell where it's on, because when it's wet it's very glossy, and it basically dried to a matte finish. So exact same process here. No top secret information to give. Again, you just want to make sure that it's tacky. When you put your finger in it, it pulls. You can feel it's not completely dry. It pulls, or when you pull your finger up, it feels sticky, but it doesn't leave anything on your finger. And for my first coat to my second coat, it was 2.5 hours, and I would say it was perfect. You don't want to go too long, because if it completely dries, you have to lightly sand it or scotch pad it or something, before you do another coat. So I am going to maybe do a little more commentary once we get to the third coat, but this is the second coat. Okay, so I'm going to apply 3 coats. After one thing that POR needs to do, they need to start setting an instruction sheet inside that kit. Because the instructions on the product itself are horrible, I think. But they do have an instruction sheet on their website, and it's very detailed and tells you what you can and can't do. Basically, you can put up to 4 coats of the POR 15. And currently have 2 on, and it says for marine and industrial you can do up to 4. So I think I'm going to do 3 and call it. And that's what I'm going to be working on. Between coats, anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. And basically what the sign is when you can touch this, and it's tacky like that, and it doesn't leave anything really on your finger. It left a little, so I'm still waiting here a couple minutes. But then I asked my doctor about Tepezza. So that I can put another coat on here. It's drying very spotted. It's drying very spotted. I don't know if that's good, bad, indifferent. But you don't want to put it on too soon, because it creates carbon, I believe, don't quote me on this, carbon dioxide bubbles if it's still drying, or curing, I guess is a better term, curing. So you don't want to put it on too soon, and you can't put it on too late, otherwise you got to sand it. So if it's completely cured, if you want to do another coat, you got to sand it. I think it says 320. Sandpaper, just scuff it up a little bit. Give it something to bite to. I don't know. Curious how this is gonna work. I do have a top coating for this. And again, the top coat, excuse me, is anywhere from, you can put out up to 24 hours, it says, without having to scuff. I would think you would still want to do that tacky. It says you can do it when it's tacky, but up to 24 hours. So I would think you'd want to do it when it's still tacky. I have dinner plans, so I'm going to put a coat on here sooner than later. And again, don't put it in a plastic cup. Use glass or something else. Don't do a solo cup, because that's what I had it in. I painted this whole thing, worked fine. I had it sitting over there, and after about 2 hours of sitting in that cup, it ate through the bottom of the cup. didn't have somewhere to be, I would let this sit longer. I'm really nervous about putting it on too soon. It's still, it's a little too soon. It's been three hours. The first coat, between the first two coats, it was 2.5. This has been about 3. Hoping it dries here a little more. I got about 5 minutes before I have to start putting this on, so. I'm real sorry. I wanted to do a very detailed video of a plot of start to finish with this, but life happens, and I did recordings of the first 2 coats, which you guys saw. And I did some. I'm gonna have to do voiceover in that, which you guys will have noticed already. So this is not nearly as detailed as I wanted this to be, so that people can just do this themselves. I will say, it's been pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You just gotta make sure you get it clean, real clean. First sandblasting, if not wire wheeling. I did that, I wire wheeled. That should be in the video. The sandblasting I did not record. It was a mess. It's a mess. If you guys haven't sandblasted, if you have a big cabinet that you can throw this in, no problem. But outdoor sandblasting, it's a mess. I didn't record it. I didn't want to ruin my phone, so I didn't record that. The metal wash, super easy. Wash it down. I took a Scotch pad, scrubbed the whole thing with that wash. Did it twice. Then I used that metal prep. The metal prep's really easy too. You put it in a spray bottle. The wash, you mix it 4 parts to 1. 4 parts water, 1 part clear. And you do that with warm water, so I did that. Washed it. The metal prep, I just sprayed this whole thing. And you keep it wet for, it says up to 20 minutes. I did 25, and then you rinse it off. So that was pretty easy too. It's all been pretty easy. I think I'm just gonna have to dive into this, guys, and get this out. I gotta get going. I'm nervous. Use a mark. It doesn't really come off. I don't know. There's a couple of real shiny spots like this. Completely dry there. I don't know why that is. Okay, I'm gonna start the 3rd coat. little project is informational for you guys. It's not how I planned it. I planned it being very detailed, and it just has not happened with audio issues, audio recording issues, and other issues that have gone on while I've been recording this. It just did not work how I thought it would be. But I appreciate you sticking with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.